I thought they did okay with the Outkast remix. I think Big Boy was the rapper. And look, I really don't care about the halftime show. So it could have passed muster with me if not for the first rapper. Look, I refuse to even name this guy. He was a local artist. He was included for what I have to assume was shock effect and street cred in Hotlanta. But the NFL should be absolutely killed for allowing an artist to take the stage. And let's be clear, this isn't an artist. This isn't some street thug anymore. These guys make millions of dollars. I'm tired of artists claiming to be what they once maybe had to be. I get that. Some of these guys have lived hard lives. But by the time you get here, at the Super Bowl, have some credibility as an artist and an entertainer. So again, the NFL should not have let this guy get on stage, use racial vulgarity right off the rip, which was not edited, and pretty much every word that isn't you, the, for, and of had to be censored. Again, I understand the challenges in this political atmosphere, and with the NFL stances on Colin Kaepernick and social issues, acts were not easy to find. The NFL had limited access here. But if that's true, you have to control these artists. You have to better structure the performance. Otherwise, it becomes what it became. It was disjointed, it was vulgar, it was an awkward mess. Again, I don't care enough to rank halftime shows. I can do without them. But this could be ranked as the worst ever if you care to rank those types of things. And now the commercials. Look, the halftime commercials in the Super Bowl are legendary for a few things. One, the amount of money that these spots cost. They cost a reported $5.2 million per 30 seconds this year. We also like the celebrity cameos. We see you, Charlie Sheen. And of course, there's always the comedic effect. Funky monkey, baby. Look, these commercials have historically had overall entertainment value. They have been funny, they have been engaging, we have connected with them, and they are legendary. A lot of people tune in the Super Bowl to watch the commercials. There weren't many entertaining moments this year. To me, the entire commercial programming resembled a societal statement on equality, inclusion, diversity, and acceptance. Of course, these are important goals. They're important issues, and they deserve discussion. They deserve analysis. And more importantly, they deserve planning and execution at the local, state, and national levels. They don't belong at the Super Bowl. Using the country's epicenter of entertainment is the wrong place for this messaging. Entertainment, especially sports, should be an escape from politics, from campaigning, from propaganda. That's why I enjoy sports so much, and I'm not alone. I hope I'm not alone here. But this is where I can yell at things like, I love this game, I hate this game, and I can tell a random player they should fall into a wood chipper because they dropped the football. I don't mean any of it. That's my escape from the world around me. It's an escape from working hard because it's important. It's for the challenges that life brings me that I focus on to handle the best that I can. And for me, and for many sports fans and non-sports fans watching the Super Bowl, it's an escape from life's emergencies that may be ongoing. They might be underway right now. And the Super Bowl is a place, sports is a place, entertainment is a place that we escape from that. Look, the important societal issues that come up are things we have to be aware of. And we have to choose how we feel and how to involve ourselves and how not to involve ourselves. But by forcing the messaging over and over and over again in the marketing campaigns that we saw on Sunday, the NFL and its marketing partners damage the relationship between people and entertainment. Mainly the use of football and the Super Bowl as an escape annually on this Sunday, and a reason to eat more chicken wings and nacho cheese than logically appropriate. The messaging is important. But rule number one in advertising is that the audience should know what is being advertised. I can't remember many of the products or services offered in the commercials this year. Only the messaging theme that connected many of them. And that is not what this time was supposed to be used for. I wasn't alone in my negative opinion of the commercials. Although my reasoning, I don't want to leverage that on anybody. If you feel that way, great. And if you don't, that's okay too. That's the great thing about America. Most people didn't like the commercials because they're quite odd in general. And the NFL did seem to honk its horn an awful lot. There was a lot of NFL programs and programming throughout the commercials. I don't know if that was a lack of sales of commercials overall, or if they were trying to improve their brand with a captive audience. I did enjoy the NFL commercial celebrating its 100th year of existence. That one connected with me as a fan in the escapism for which I choose entertainment. One of my co-hosts on Sports Brewing Company, Brad Gurton, he made the same point. And please, if you have a chance, please listen to us. We are the Sports Brewing Company. We are on skoradio.com. We broadcast live on Sunday nights at 9:30, and we are on YouTube. But Brad made a really good point that none of the other commercials really connected to us. It didn't connect to me, football fans, or casual fans, or non-fans as an audience. It seemed too forced. The NFL's 100-year anniversary commercial was funny. Baker Mayfield can now hold 6 rings for Tom Brady. It was historical. Jim Brown is still an icon. And it was memorable. Joe Montana's quip to Michael Irvin, "Not you, cowboy." These were moments that connected to the history and tradition of being an NFL fan, and I wish more of the commercials were tuned into that than the social messaging that they seem to focus on. I understand why people thought the commercials were bad, and maybe the worst ever. I call on the NFL to reduce the political tone of its messaging in future years. That's my view on the Super Bowl. If you're still listening and haven't yelled me off of your phone or radio or tablet or tweeter, I hope you will stay tuned, because next I have a treat. Mr. Trevor Lane of LakersNation.com will be joining me. He will give us a good interview. We did it on Sunday when the Lakers were making some bids for Anthony Davis, but now it is hot and heavy, and he actually had some views that are playing out today, and I think you'll find interesting. He also discussed LeBron's influence on the Lakers and what might happen if AD isn't traded before Friday's trade deadline. So, join us for the next segment. This is Cinder Block Sports. Please follow us on Twitter at Cinder Sports, Facebook Cinder Block Sports. Give us some feedback, guys. We're always asking for it. You're going to hear, if you're on the podcast, you will hear about 15 seconds of music combined with our re-entry. We will be right back.
Cinder Block Sports isn't your weekly recap. It's about host John O'Donnell's view on the week in sports, including interviews with interesting personalities, John's opinions on topics that you may have missed, and entertainment through analysis of the sports we love. Now, from the Dream Big Studios, here's John O'Donnell.
And we are back on Cinder Block Sports. We are joined now by Trevor Lane. Trevor is a senior editor, senior writer at LakersNation.com. You can find him there, some great articles. Also, a great Twitter follow at Trevor_Lane, and a host on the Lakers Nation podcast. We had Trevor on here to talk about the Lakers and the Anthony Davis trade. Trevor, thank you so much, and how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Well, again, thank you, and I want to jump into the Anthony Davis trade saga, as it were. What is your gut feeling right now on where the Lakers are, and whether or not they're going to land AD before the trade deadline here?
Gosh, it seems like it's changing every single day. There's just been so much going on. It's been a whirlwind of rumors and getting different sides of the whole equation. But at this point, I think I'm more optimistic than anything else that it's going to get done. It feels like the Pelicans are ready to move on from Anthony Davis. They've removed him from their pregame intro videos. They're kind of pushing the team away from him or him away from the team. So it seems like they're getting ready to pull the trigger on something. I don't know if it'll be to the Lakers, but that does seem like the likely outcome if they're going to trade him right now because of what happened with the New York Knicks and trading Kristaps Porzingis and then the Celtics and the uncertainty now over Kyrie Irving, it seems as though the best offer out there is now the one that the Lakers could be offering up. So if they do decide to move him, and it does feel like they're going to, if they decide to move him by the trade deadline, I think he probably will wind up going to the Lakers. But with 4 days to go here until the trade deadline, who knows? Anything can happen. The way the NBA is this season, it's just it's amazing the way this league can keep your attention year-round at this point.
Well, and you led right into the Lakers offer. I read a piece by you a couple days ago, maybe it was even yesterday, about the Lakers and where their offer stands. And the offers that we've heard have been the starting place for the Lakers have been Kuzma, one of their young pieces, Ball, Ingram, Hart, Zubac, and draft pick. And we're hearing the Pelicans want 2 draft picks and maybe 3 or 4 of those young pieces. What do you think they're going to have to give up prior to the trade deadline? I think after the trade deadline it might change, but prior, or what is their most current offer? Maybe that's a better way to ask it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it seems like they are there's 2 different sides to it. You had Adrian Wojnarowski and Shams Charania reporting that they had offered up Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, Rajon Rondo, Michael Beasley, those Rondo and Beasley being in for mostly salary matching purposes, plus maybe a pick in there. But then you had Brad Turner and Tanya Ganguli of the LA Times, who are a little bit more plugged in with the Lakers, who were reporting that they had offered pretty much everything. That there were actually 5 different offers that were available to the Pelicans, all these different options and different ways to construct the trade, and that one of them basically included everyone, all of the Lakers youngsters, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Ivica Zubac, and a pick. I expect there is some sort of a middle ground that they'll find. The Pelicans are going to want as much as they possibly can get. They're going to want all of the Lakers' young guys. They're going to want multiple first-round picks. They're going to want the Lakers to absorb a bad contract like a Solomon Hill, and the Lakers aren't going to want to do something like that. So at some point, they're going to have to negotiate, and it sounds like that's going to happen this week, and see if they can find a middle ground, see if they can find somewhere in between. Maybe the Lakers absorb a bad contract, but then they also get to keep a Kyle Kuzma or something like that, or maybe if they give up all the youngsters, they don't absorb a bad salary or the picks change or whatever. But somewhere in between those 2 extremes, from giving up everything, which is probably too much for the Lakers, and giving up just 2 of the young guys and some contracts and a pick or something, which is not going to be enough for the Pelicans. There's got to be some middle ground for them to find. And if they do find that, then I think there's going to be a deal.
Well, and coming up from behind here in the rear view are those Boston Celtics, right? After July 1st, they can get involved in this trade talks, and everybody seems to think that they have the best assets. They've got the most picks. They have lots of young players. Whether or not AD would sign, there's a whole other issue. But if the Celtics get into this game, if it goes past the trade deadline and we look into July 1st, I would think that they have no choice then but to offer everything but the kitchen sink. Would you agree, or is there still some ground for the Lakers to hold their ground because AD may want to be a Laker long term?
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers have put out there that if and this is just through back channels and things, but they've put out there that if it gets to the point where it's July and Anthony Davis hasn't been traded, and the Pelicans are then looking to trade him and interested in Boston's assets, the Lakers have said, then we're out. We're not going to try to outbid Boston. We're not going to get into that bidding war. Now, it's very possible that they're just saying that right now because they don't want the Pelicans to wait until July. So it would make a whole lot of sense for the Lakers to tell them, hey, our offer is gone in July. It won't be there. More realistically, yeah, they'll still be able to put something on the table, but that is the danger. If they really want Anthony Davis, they want to try to maintain as many assets as they can right here at the trade deadline, but they also need to get the deal done now so they don't have to try to get into a bidding war with the Celtics in July. But again, this whole Kyrie Irving thing works out in their advantage as well, because if Boston feels like Kyrie may not be back, then that's going to probably prohibit them from throwing Jason Tatum's name into a trade offer because they're going to need him to build around. And so that might kind of handcuff the Boston Celtics, or at least make the Pelicans think twice about whether or not the Celtics offer is really going to be there in July. And if they have any sort of qualms about that, if they feel like it may not be there, then that gives them more incentive to trade right now with the Lakers. So that's kind of a long answer to how this is all working out. But it's going to be interesting to see who blinks. I think that if he is not a Laker by the trade deadline, I don't think he becomes a Laker. And I think the Lakers are accepting that. So we'll see if they can get a deal done by Thursday.
Well, things like this